If you can't you'll never be rich. And that's because sales and seduction are very similar. They utilize the same skill set, but in different ways. They utilize the same principles, but in different ways. So if you have ever been laid in your life, you can get paid. If you have slept with anybody, you already have the skill set to sell. You already have the skill set to make money. Understanding the connection between sales and seduction will help you make more money, because money likes to be seduced. So, why can't I even tell you anything about this? About 2 years ago, I was completely broke, sleeping on a basement floor, no money, in tons of debt. And within 2 years, I became a top 1% earner through various online businesses. And now I help people add $10,000 to their coaching or consulting offer per month. That's what I do. If you want to know more about my story, my other videos have more information. Let's get into it. Now, this is going to be completely raw and live. That's what I do. So that's how it's going. Ain't no super editing. I might put some text on the screen because it looks pretty or some shit, but let's get into it. I'm going to break this into 2 categories. We're going to go seduction, and we're going to go sales. All right. Because you got to seduce money. Now, the first thing you have to understand is that seduction and importing money into your life require an internal mental game first. And a lot of people, they don't want to hear anything to do about the way they think, even though they know that's what it requires. So, there's no sales script that's going to allow you to make more money if you don't get the internal elements dealt with. There is no pickup line, there is no opener, there is no piece of content, there's no funnel, there's no landing page that is going to allow you to make money or allow you to get laid if you don't have the internal stuff figured out. So we're going to start with those because that's the foundation. So the first thing is your, internal dialogue. Hopefully I can spell. I have an English minor and God knows if I can spell. All right. So on the seduction side, it's the same thing on the sales side. If I put an equal sign, it means it's the same thing. Your internal dialogue in terms of seduction is very important. Your internal dialogue in terms of sales is very important. The first thing you want to deal with in terms of internal dialogue is neediness. Okay? Women do not like neediness. When is the last time somebody said, please date me, please date me, please date me, I love you so much, I've done so much things for you, please date me, please date me, please date me, and the girl actually wanted to date the guy? I'll tell you what happens when she does decide to date him. After all of her options have been expired, and she's broken up with how many people and no longer wants to deal with certain individuals, she goes to the person who is super needy for her and decides that she's going to go be with him. But here's the thing. She's not happy about that decision. She resents that decision because you were never the choice to begin with. She wanted the choices that she wanted, but she doesn't want to be single for the rest of her life. So boom, she takes you. Don't be needy. Who wants to live like that? And prospects will do the same thing. If you beg, they will eventually give in and they will say yes, but they will resent it. And that is far worse for your product, your offer, your service than them saying no. So remember that. You can't be needy for money. We all need money. I understand this. We all need money. But if you are needy, money will avoid you. Money likes an attraction element. You need a reason. You need to provide value. It needs a reason to come to you. And we're going to create these reasons, make you less needy. The second thing is that people walk around with all this hope and all this belief that they need luck to approach a woman and her give you her number or for you to talk to a prospect and then pay you. You're sitting there like, I hope she doesn't blow me out of the water. I hope she doesn't say no. I hope she doesn't ignore me. I hope she doesn't embarrass me. None of these things serve you. And when it comes to sales, you're like, I hope they buy. Maybe they'll buy. And then you get all anxious about it when you're talking to them and sales and all this shit. None of that serves you. Okay? You want to know what does serve you? I'm going to split it in two, the seduction side and the sales side, but they're the same thing. Okay? One is saying, she would be happy to be with me. Okay? That is a far better frame of mind than I hope she says yes. Or I hope she doesn't embarrass me. There is no confidence in that. There's no certainty in that. A woman wants to know that you have certainty and confidence. And so does a prospect, okay, that you're going to sell to. So when it comes to sales, what you want to tell yourself is, they want to pay me. That is what you tell yourself when you walk into the conversation. They want to pay me. What I am offering is what they need. It's so good. They want to pay me. I just need to show them how to do it. I just need to show them that I can solve what it is they're dealing with and they will pay me. It's better that you go into the conversation, into the interaction with those mentalities than maybe I'll get paid. Maybe she'll say yes. Maybe I'll get laid. Okay? Now, that doesn't mean you walk around with arrogance. It's just an internal dialogue that you need to walk around with to have better results. Okay? So, there's one more mental element that we're going to talk about. In terms of seduction, your way of being here, I'm going to put vibe. Because you'll always hear women say, I like your vibe. I like your energy. Oh, you're such a good time. Maybe they just tell me that, but you get what I'm saying. Your way of being, okay, is your energy, your aura, your vibe that you put into the world. And on the sales side, this is your brand, okay? I'm going to talk about the way of being / vibe for a second because it's very important that you understand this. We as humans use the electromagnetic field to see. Electromagnetic waves, okay, enter our eyes, our retina, and displays a picture to our brain, and our brain tells us what we think we're seeing, okay? We can only see less than 1% of this electromagnetic spectrum. Less than 1%. Okay? It's 99.9% and a bit more that we cannot see. So because you can't see it, it doesn't mean there's things happening there. Your aura, okay, your energy, your vibe lives within that space that you cannot see, that electromagnetic sphere that you cannot see. Okay? So you felt this before. You have been in a room and somebody walks in and you never saw them walk in. You felt them walk in. That was their energy, their aura, their auric field, their vibe. Okay? Women are very in tune with this for some odd reason. I think it's a survival mechanism. Women are very in tune with this. And if women like your energy, your auric field, your vibe, they will be attracted to you. They will come to you. My wife, who is a 10 out of 10, hot, she came to me because she liked my energy, aura, vibe. Okay? So, we'll talk about how to cultivate that maybe in another video. But on the sales side, your vibe, your energy, your aura is your brand. People think brand is a logo, or people think brand is a word, or people think brand is all this other shit. Brand is an energy. It's an aura. It's a reputation at scale. Okay. So how do you build that? What determines these things? One, it's going to be your internal dialogue again, right? That's going to assist it a lot. How you think of yourself is going to determine the aura and the energy that you put into the world, but also physical things that you can see. How do you dress? How do you speak? What's your tone of voice? What's your energy like? Are you tired? Are you energetic? Are you funny? What are the people around you like? For instance, you can tell when people are dangerous. For instance, right? You're in a club and you see a whole bunch of guys just together and they're just dangerous. You can tell. They haven't demonstrated anything. They haven't punched nobody or done nothing to anyone, but you can just tell that they're dangerous. Okay? There's an energy in it and an aura and probably a certain look. So what are you going to do? What are you going to look like? What are you going to say to build a brand that attracts the right people, that brings the right people to you? Because, for instance, if I know I like specific women, right? Let's say you like ratchet hoes that like sexy red or some shit. How you walk into the world is going to be a lot different to attract those women than if you were to attract an heiress. Okay? It's going to be a lot different. How would you attract the heiress? You would probably put yourself together and, have a suit and be somebody who actually does shit, right? So brand is very important for bringing in the right people, because you want the right people. You don't want to end up having an audience full of people who won't buy from you and aren't in alignment with who you are. It's not a good time. So the next element of this is attention. And I'm going to break this down into two elements. We got outbound and inbound. And on the sales side, it would be DMs, content. All right. I'm just going to put a dashed line between these things to separate them. Hopefully it's not too hard to look at. Sorry. So you got outbound attention and inbound attention on the seduction side. So what's outbound attention? If I see a woman walking in this shopping center or something and I find her attractive and want to speak to her, I will get her attention in some way. I might walk along with her and say, excuse me, I find you, you're beautiful, whatever, and talk to her, right? Now I've got her attention, but that was me approaching her. So that's outbound. That's you going from where you are and going to pursue somebody. Inbound, on the other hand, is them coming to you. I don't know why I did that. Inbound is them coming to you. So if you have the right aura, the right vibe, you're attractive, women will come to you. And I don't know if any women are currently watching this, but the same things apply to you guys. And actually, women have a distinct advantage in this game of sales and in this game of seduction, which I'm going to get to at the end. Women have a very distinct advantage. So stick around for that. So inbound is her coming to you. Okay. And when she's coming to you, you have a way, way, way better chance of closing or smashing, right? If a prospect is coming to you, you have a way better chance of selling because they are already interested. You don't have to interest them. Okay. So your version of outbound towards people is DMs on Instagram or, Twitter, whatever. Is people interacting with your content or commenting on something and boom, you DM them. What's cool about social media is that you can get definite indicators of interest. If somebody liked one of your posts or commented on one of your posts, they're obviously demonstrating that they like something about you. So why not DM them and see if they're a decent prospect? People don't do this though. They're like, oh, I don't want to message nobody. This is your internal dialogue messing with you again. Okay? DM them. That's outbound though. Now, if you make the right content because you build the right brand and bring in the right people, you will get inbound traffic. You will get people coming to you, and they're way easier to sell. And what's fantastic about social media is it makes this process right here way easier. Back in the day, you had to send mail, literal physical mail, to tell people things. Okay? If you wanted to get the attention of people and get inbound people coming in, you had to buy an advertisement on the radio or the newspaper or television. Now you can just make content. Insane. Insane. You don't understand the privilege that you have. So, after you get somebody's attention, right? This is these 3 and 4 that I'm about to talk about, they're attached because getting attention also has to do with your approach. Right? So it's the same over here, your approach. When you go to get this person's attention, you approach them or they approach you. How do you handle that interaction? Okay? What you're not going to do is walk up to a girl and say, "Hey, you want to sleep with me?" What is likely to happen is that you get slapped. Some people have success with that, but most people don't. So you're not going to approach like that. You're going to be a little more indirect, right? If you're smooth with the game, you're going to be quite indirect, right? Or you can be relatively direct and, say that you find her beautiful or whatever, and that you like to take her out on a date or whatever the hell it is, right? So you can be direct sometimes, but the approach is very important. When it comes to social media, when it comes to the sales side, your approach still has an indirect element, okay? If somebody follows me, I can message them and be like, "Hey, thanks for the follow. What made you follow?" People will have a conversation with you. Or, "Thanks for liking the content. Are you interested in just the content I post, or are you building a business?" You understand? This is more indirect. I'm not saying, "Hey, I have a thing to sell you." Foolishness. Okay? Approach. That's very important because how you approach people will determine if they talk to you or not. "You want to sleep with me?" Whole thing of seduction is done. No tail, no money. Same thing. All right. So you've got some attention, you've approached. Now you're having a conversation. Same thing on this side. Now you're having a conversation. Okay? And with the conversation, all you're trying to determine is number 6. Okay? Because I don't need to talk much about conversation. You're speaking to somebody. Number 6, on the seduction side, you're trying to figure out what she wants. And if you're going to give her what she wants. So what she gets. Okay? Now, women are quite good at determining this because women already know what men want. Men want to get laid. So they already know what the men want. So they're determining if he gets it or not. But if you really know what you're doing, you flip that dynamic. That's another conversation. I don't really teach date. I don't really do relationship coaching anymore, but you can flip that dynamic and she could be the one chasing you. But in this case, when you're having a conversation with somebody and you want to sell something, you're determining what's their problem and if you can solve it. So if I already had an indirect approach, right, and I've spoken to somebody and they tell me, "Hey, I'm building my business," right? I might ask them, "Yeah, have you had any challenges with that?" "Yeah, I can't seem to be able to have my leads purchase. I can't get the people whose emails I got to buy something from me. Well, I can help you with that. So I know that you have a problem and I know that I can solve it. I know what to give you to solve that. My offer, right? On the seduction side, what does she want? Maybe she wants to go on a date. Maybe she finds you attractive and funny and she would love to go on a date with you, right? Is she going to get that date? Can you provide being able to carry out that date? Is she going to get that, right? That's all the conversation is. As much as flirting and as much fun and all this type of stuff, all this nuance and all this, slick talk and all that, all you're really determining is what somebody wants and if they're going to get it, if you can give it to them. You understand? Cool. So after that, let me just go check. Right. So after you determine what she wants and if she's going to get it, you've got to get her information. On the business side, it's called a lead. Okay? You're going to get her number. You're going to take her out on a date later. Okay? You're getting her information. Phone number, Instagram, whatever. I'm old school. I want her phone number. I want to be able to call her or text her and not get buried in the Instagram DMs of, whoever the hell else isn't as fly as me. So that's self-explanatory. You're getting their information so that you can contact them at a later time. Now, listen, we'll get to that after, actually. I'm not going to get ahead of myself. A lead is the same thing. A lead is someone who you have the permission to contact. You might have their number. You might have their email. You might have their Instagram and be able to DM them. That is a lead. Okay? And leads eventually pay you. Self-explanatory. Okay? After the lead, the key is in the follow-up. Same thing on the business side. It's the follow-up. So what's the follow-up? You text her or you call her and you schedule this date. And in the date, all the follow-up is doing is reminding them of this. You're finding out more about who they are, what they want, and what they will get if they link up with you. All right? If they link up with you. You're doing the same thing when you follow up with a lead. You email them or whatever, and you try and get on a sales call, for instance. I don't really do sales calls. I close everything through messages. I've made all my money through messages. I used to work a sales job. I've worked a couple sales jobs in my time, but I don't like sales calls. I do everything through messages, but it's the same principles. Okay. You're reminding them of their problem and that you can solve it. You find out a little more about them. You find out what they're struggling with, and you let them know that you can solve it. That's all your follow-up is. That's all a date really is. Okay? Is that at its base level, right? Now, of course, they have to like you and all that shit. That's involved in that. That's involved over here and over here. It's also involved way back up here on the brand side and the way of being side. As you can see, it all starts from up here. It all starts from up here because shoot, if you have up here correct, you might go straight from information. So getting a lead or even not taking their information. You could go straight from conversation to getting laid. Okay? Straight from conversation to getting laid if you do these steps appropriately. From your internal dialogue to conversation, you can get laid. You can skip all this other shit. Okay? Same thing happens with sales. If you've done this part right, your brand and your entire internal dialogue and your conversation, you could go straight to getting paid. Okay? Now, the follow-up is the most important thing, because what are you going to do? You got her number and then you never text her or you never call her. What the hell? So nothing's going to happen, right? Nothing's going to happen Same thing if you don't follow up with your leads. People just think that people are just going to give them money. Listen, everyone kind of ghosts. All right. Leads, you hit up a lead, it might be 2 emails before they get back to you. You hit up a girl, it might be, 2 or 3 days before she gets back to you. She's got life to live. Who knows what the hell she's up to, right? If she don't want to go on a date with you, on to the next one. That's why you need more leads. Okay. After the follow-up, after you've done enough follow-up, with me, it's 2 to 3 times, right? On the business side, 2 to 3 follow-ups. If they don't close, I ignore them. I close their file, basically. Same thing with dating. 2 to 3 dates. You don't smash after 2 to 3 dates. In my experience, it probably ain't gonna happen. So that brings us to number 9, which is smash. Okay? And y'all can determine what that means. This is getting a sale. Hooray! That's getting a sale. That's a smash. Pause. Okay? I know there's a lot of guys watching this. Pause. But that's what it is. Okay? You have done all these steps over here. All this seduction, okay? All this internal dialogue and this branding and this way of being, attention, conversation. And now, boom, you smashed. Boom, you've gotten a sale. You've gotten some money. Okay? I hope you can see that these things are all very similar, and that if you have done this side, you can do this side. Okay? Same elements. You already have it within you to do. You already have it within you. So boom. After that happens, yay. And what you got to remember now is that somebody trusts you, believes that you can give them what they want, and has exchanged value with you. Okay? Now, for women, them sleeping with you is them giving a form of value, at least for most women, right? For most women, they're going to be very cautious of who they sleep with. Now, you can argue about that. There's a whole bunch of women who really don't care who they sleep with, but for the most part, women are going to be cautious about who they give it up to because it's valuable, right? So, same thing. People are cautious about who they give their money to. If they trust you and you've done the other elements correctly and you deliver properly, this is the next part. Satisfaction. Okay? And this is delivery. Satisfaction. Is she satisfied? Is she satisfied with sleeping with you? Is she satisfied with your aura, your energy, your way of being, hanging out with you, talking to you? Is she satisfied? Is she happy? Is she having a good time? On the sales side, the business side, do you deliver the product? Do you deliver the offer well? Do people get a result? Do people get results? Do people get positivity? Do people get what you told them they would get? Okay? That's very important, because you might get the sale and then you mess up the delivery and now you have a disgruntled customer and now they go and talk shit about you. You might smash a girl. She's dissatisfied. And I don't mean that she didn't find the sex good. Okay? I mean that she's dissatisfied with you as a person afterwards. Like your real character has been exposed and she's dissatisfied with you as a person. Okay? Now, this is the final element. Okay? You smash, you got the sale, satisfied delivery. Is there going to be a long-term relationship? And this is client retention. Now you are determining if you are still going to be together. You might be together with this person after sleeping with them, after spending time with them. You might have an actual long-term relationship, which is nice, which is beautiful. Or not, right? You could have a one-night stand and people go about their business if you did these elements correctly, and then you jump straight to smash, and she could be satisfied or dissatisfied, but she's decided and you've decided you're not having a relationship that day. Done. Right? Client retention is the same thing. They might buy a one-time product from you, but they decide they don't want to be a client. They might just want to buy one thing from you It is what it is. If they do want an ongoing relationship with you, now you're going to have to constantly deliver good things. And the girl, if you have a long-term relationship with her, is going to need to be regularly satisfied. This is seduction and sales together. Same shit. Okay? Now, what are you going to do to retain your client? What sort of value are you going to deliver on a regular basis that keeps them around? And what sort of relationship are you going to have that keeps everybody happy? That is sales and seduction. Okay? Big chart, whatever. I'll just say the 11 steps one more time. You got your internal dialogue, which is the same thing on the sales side. Your way of being, your vibe, your aura, your energy. That's your brand. How do you get attention? Is it outbound? Is it inbound? Right? You do that through DMs and content. Your approach. How do you speak to people? Your conversation. What are you determining about people? What do they want? What do they get? What's their problems? Can you solve them? And they'll pay you for it. Get people's information. Get a lead, because you need to follow up. You need to follow up. People don't always make a decision right there. A girl might meet you. She's not choosing to sleep with you instantaneously. Most of the time. Okay? Unless you're like me. Anyways. You smash or you get a sale. Is everyone satisfied? Did you deliver the things properly? Are you having a continued relationship over time? Now, I'm going to erase all this. You should have took notes. If you did take notes, put one of them in the comments. What have you taken away so far from this? If you're still around, that means you have attention span, and that means you're going to be rich. That's another quality of rich people, is that they can pay attention to shit. So my camera froze, which it does sometimes, but we got through the chart, so that's all good. And hopefully you can see the similarities between seduction and sales, and that if you have already seduced somebody, meaning you have already slept with somebody and had some sort of relationship, you can make money. Same skill set, same principles. So there was one more thing I was going to talk about, and I mentioned, the women would be happy about this later on in the video. If you want to make money, you have to understand. Oops. Masculine and feminine energy. Particularly feminine energy. Why is that? Because feminine energy is the energy of receiving. So if you want to receive money, receive income, you must understand and utilize feminine energy. Now, that doesn't mean that you go and put on a wig or act like a chick or put on heels or whatever people are doing nowadays. That's not what it means. You have to remove the whole man and woman thing from it. These are energy, okay? These are a form of energy. That's what these are. It doesn't have to do with man or have to do with women. For instance, me speaking to this camera, speaking into this microphone, speaking to this camera, putting something into the world on YouTube is masculine energy. It's the energy of projection and action. Okay? So this is masculine energy right now. This doesn't have anything to do with being a man. Women can do this too. You understand? You watching this right now and receiving the message is feminine energy. Okay? So feminine is the energy of receiving. I always be spelling receiving wrong, so I don't know if I spelled it correctly, but whatever. Once again, I have an English minor. Crazy, I know. So you need to be open to receiving if you want to make money. And this is why women have a distinct advantage. Because if a woman is in her femininity, she will import things, including money, into her life. If you've seen women, okay, particularly women that embrace their femininity, you'll see they just receive things. Men fly them out. They're in Dubai, they're in Miami, they're in Spain, they're in Puerto Rico, wherever the hell else. Men are flying them out too. Men do things for them. People, not just men, women too. Okay? Because women buy from women. Men are far less likely to buy from women, but they will spend money on women, particularly feminine women. Okay? So if a woman's in her feminine, she's going to import money into her life easier. And society has women duped to think that they need to be masculine to make money. No, you don't. If you embrace your femininity more, you would actually make more money. It's funny how that works, huh? Because most of the time, everything society tells you is BS to keep you where you are and keep you depressed and screwed in on medication to make them rich and fuck up your mind. Embrace your feminine energy, ladies. Okay? And I know, dudes, y'all seen this, and many men are frustrated about this, right? So you have a girl and a boy, a guy, okay? And let's say they both start business at the same time. Say they're in the same business, okay? And let's say they have the same work ethic. Okay? The woman is likely to make more money quicker than the guy. Okay? That's more likely to happen. Now, he'll eventually catch up. Because, you know, cortisol is probably going to slap her, and cortisol and stress doesn't deal with women that well. And, you know, she might have a kid, and there's other things that affect women that, you know, as to why they end up making less than men. But at first, it's just like in biological development. Women's prefrontal cortex gets developed before men's. And this is a similar thing here. If women enter business, particularly online, and embrace their feminine energy, they make a lot of money. Okay? And I have a deep understanding of this because if you see my previous videos or know my story, I first made my money as a manager in the OnlyFans business. If you have a problem with that, you can leave. If you want to stick around and learn something, you'll learn. Okay? That's all feminine energy. Yes, there's a biological component to it of sex, but it's feminine energy. It's women being in their femininity and getting paid. Now, men can be mad about this, but here's what you need to learn from this. You need to be open to receiving. Pause, okay? But you do need to be open to receiving. So many men are not open to receiving. Their only option, their only idea is to just project, push, go. They work incredibly hard, and then they don't get the results because they're not open mentally to receiving things. Women are, though. Women expect to receive things. You understand? So start expecting to receive things. Start expecting that when you have a sales call with somebody that they're going to pay you. Start expecting when you DM people that they want to pay you. Start expecting when you put out your content that people want to see it and they want to pay you. You need to be open to receiving. Don't let the internal dialogue fuck with you. Okay? So that's how you get paid. That is the relationship between seduction and money. Now, I hope you understand one final concept. If you can get laid, you can get paid. I'll see y'all next week. Peace.